So I'm someone that looks like this year round and hasn't tracked a single calorie in over 2 years now. Today, I'm going to be running you through a full day of eating, what I eat in a typical day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, as someone that, again, has no idea of how many calories they're putting in their body, just fuels with whole nutrient dense foods as the focus. So stick around, enjoy this. If you like it, give it a like. If you like more of my content and you want to see more of it, then maybe hit the follow button as well, or the subscribe button. I'll see you soon. Welcome to a full day of eating with your host, myself, George Barnstable. Now, this day has already kind of had a full start because I'm an iced coffee down and it's like 9 in the morning. So let me give you the rundown so far. Went and tried out a new coffee joint called Georgie Boy, just because that was what I got called sometimes in school. And I thought, let's give it a shot. And I can't lie, really solid iced oat latte, but it did set me back like $7, so ridiculous just for a bit of extra ice. And I haven't eaten today. So I woke up today about 8 a.m. I had a lot of work to do last night, so I went to bed at like half midnight. So try to get at least 7 hours of sleep. Ideally, I would have loved to wake up at 7 to have a better start for the day, but sleep is the most important thing that you can be doing. So yeah, it's like 9:30 at the moment. I've got a therapy appointment at 10, so I need to shoot off. But I'm going to quickly make some breakfast before we go. So I'm going to show you exactly what I have. Pretty much 5, 6, 7 days. 6, 7, Jesus. Pretty much. And by the way, are you able to tell that I don't do this too often? Like this whole YouTube stuff. Because I think that's pretty obvious. Okay, so we got some bread. I put my bread in the fridge. Again, weirdo. Got 2 eggs, and then we're gonna have half of an avocado, so quarter of an avocado. Bit of butter for the pan, for my eggs, and that is all I'm gonna eat. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, wait, butter on the pan. Where's his food scale? What's going on? I don't weigh anything, guys. You may know this. I used to weigh a lot of food 10 years straight. It led me to developing all kind of poor relationships with food, like binge eating, for example. And yeah, what I found worked best for me is that I started to put the numbers away. And I just focused on eating good food, you know, like consistently throughout the day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like meals like this. So I do have an understanding of what I put in my body. I do something called portion-based eating, which is essentially where we look at these two things, which is like what, 200 calories, I don't know, 20 grams of protein. I don't see it in that lens, and I have no idea if that was even correct, to be honest. I see this as a palm of protein, right? 1 palm is 2 eggs right there, right? And that's how I create meals. I look at, a slice of bread as a cupped hand of bread, a portion of carbohydrates. I look at a quarter of this avocado as a thumb of fats. Again, that's giving me my fat. And then I also try to involve fiber in every single meal and try to have a fist worth of fiber. But there's some meals that aren't totally balanced, and that's okay as well. I like to have a lighter brekkie, and then I like to have a bigger lunch and dinner, just because I'm not too hungry in the morning. I'm on a medication at the moment for some certain reasons. I won't disclose what, but don't worry, it's not peptides or anything like that. It's a bit more personal. But yeah, it has definitely impacted my hunger levels. And I noticed that specifically in the morning. Like, I'm not hungry at all right now. I kind of have to force myself to eat. Not in, that kind of way. But yeah, I'm not actually too hungry, and I could probably go without eating after consuming that iced coffee just then. But I know what that does to me, and what it will lead to is me being incredibly hungry later in the day and probably binge eating, because that is the biggest problem that I see right now, is that people just think that, hey, in order to lose weight, I just gotta eat as little as possible. And yes, of course, like, that's how it all works. You lose weight by being in a deficit of energy, calories in, calories out. But I think people really neglect just how important calories in actually is to general functions of your body, like to your responses to stress, to your responses to exercise, to your responses to yourself and sleep. Like, I think the words calorie deficit implies that weight loss is just a calorific thing and you should just focus on food. And I kind of disagree with that. I think weight loss, and it truly is, right? Scientifically, weight loss is an energy deficit. It's not just a calorie deficit, it's an energy deficit. And that therefore means that we need to take into account energy in as well as energy out. So energy in, the only form of that is of course food, like I understand that. But energy out, is something that is exercise, is something that is step related, is something that is, essentially us moving our body to increase that number. And I think all of us are so focused on increasing the number, which is calories in, that we completely neglect the calories out part. And I think this is really important because when I started to see the most progress in my weight loss journey after 8 years of struggling, what I noticed was that as soon as I just started to eat, like a quote unquote normal person, I had breakfast, lunch and dinner, and I just increased my exercise activity and my kind of expenditure over the day, it led to me feeling like the process was so much more fun and easy. Because this is the thing, guys. You feel so crap when you don't have a lot of food in your body. Like, it's horrible on your body, right? You feel tired, you feel lethargic, you have no energy. It's not fun. And you also have to restrict a lot. Like, you have to say no to favorite food. You have to say no sometimes to your favorite activities with friends, for example. Like, that's what I used to do, man. I used to literally say no to going out to the pub or going to a party because I didn't have the calories for it, which is, freaking ridiculous when you think about it. And then you compare that to like, right, if I just increased my exercise, maybe I, increased how many times I went to the gym, increased my steps over the day. I'm not in the game of like kind of seeing it as this kind of weighing game between like calories in, calories out, but it does easily become that, right? It does become that you can have a bit more flexibility in your daily diet when you do move more, right? And that is not just to fill that gap of like calories in, but actually exercise gives us so many more benefits, man, that we actually realize. Like, the mental clarity you can get on a walk is phenomenal, or a gym session, or a swim, or a run. Like, there are just so many additional benefits to this. And I think it's really, really overlooked. And that is because exercise is harder. It's much easier to just say no to breakfast than it is to go on a 30-minute walk, for example, or a run or a gym session. Like, I completely get that. And we live in this society now where we just want the quickest, easiest solution. And in reality, 9 times out of 10, the quickest, easiest thing isn't the best for us. And what is a level of delayed gratification. It isn't, the shortcut road. It is actually the road that is a bit harder walked. And it is such an interesting kind of topic to debate and talk about, because I don't think people talk about it enough. I'm obviously someone that posts a lot of content online, gets my view across, and I feel like I am such a small voice kind of supporting that kind of side of the coin. And it baffles me as to why so few people are on this side of the fence. It just is so strange to me. Super duper strange. But this is meal number 1 that we're plating up now. It's taken me 10 minutes to do this. Obviously, guys, I work from home. I run my own business, so I have a lot of freedom and flexibility. And look, if I was in corporate, like I used to do, I used to work in recruitment, I used to do a bit of time in sales too. And I didn't eat meals like this, Monday through to Friday, right? I would run out the door, for example, because a lot earlier that I needed to be at work. So I do have a lot more flexibility now. which is awesome. But what I used to do when I worked in the office was I used to take in food because I wasn't hungry at like 6 in the morning. So I used to make overnight oats. I would pop it in the fridge and I would bring it to the office and I'd eat it just before I started the day of work, basically. And that consisted of like a protein, so protein powder, for example. I also had oats in there for carbs. I would have fruit there for fiber. And then sometimes I would put some like nuts in there or some peanut butter as my fats, basically. So again, we're just trying to craft balanced meals. And then essentially what you want to aim for is making sure that you have more protein and fiber than you do carbs and fats, ideally, or the same amount. And that's going to be really important in just crafting a balanced meal that helps from a hunger and satiety point of view, because fiber and protein are going to be really, really filling in comparison to carbs and fats. But this is the first meal that we have here. This is eggs, avo and toast. No idea on the calories, but it is a balanced meal that's going to keep me full and something that has some high protein to it. That is meal number one. And yeah, we're going to eat this now and then go over to a therapy appointment. Let's go. And you can probably skip a few minutes if you're not interested in my personal life, but I moved. This is my brand new apartment. It is so cool to be living alone and just like in my own space. Not that I hated my prior housemates. In fact, I love them. They're friends of mine, but it is just so freeing to like pop out the camera whenever I want and just feel like I can just record whatever I want. It is so freeing to go for a poo and leave the door open. Same for a shower. That's probably TMI, but it's being honest. So yeah, this is the joint. I've got, you know, this huge kind of area to work in. I've got the kitchen there. This is the place, this is the house, and I'm just so happy with everything. It's so cool. I've never lived in an apartment before and just wanted to so bad. So yeah, that is the place if you actually get. It is just after 11. That means we got lunch in like an hour. Usually I eat between 12 and 1, but I'm pretty hungry after the therapy appointment. Turns out it was actually at 10 a.m., not 10:30. So I was 15 minutes late, but the absolute legend just allowed me to run over time. And yeah, he was like, all right, let's just run it. Like, I'll give you 15 minutes from now. So yeah, absolute legend. Snack wise, what I kind of do is I'll have like breakfast, lunch and dinner, as you're gonna see throughout this video. And then I'll just have snacks when I feel like I want them and need them. And the rule here that I kind of have with myself is just make my snacks filling, like have fibrous-based snacks pretty much exclusively. So pretty much everything I eat when it comes to snacks is fruit, grapes, bananas. It's kind of my favorite fruits at the moment. Mangoes are also in season, so I like them. And then when it comes to, you know, if I want a bigger snack, then I'll maybe have some yogurt. Maybe I'll have some bread, for example, if I've got like a, you know, a boxing session like I do later. So I play it by ear all the time. And I just try to make sure that when I'm making food related choices, they're like good food related choices. So yeah, banana, 11 o'clock, and yeah, we're gonna have lunch about 12:30. So I promise I'm not trying to turn this into like a day in the life, like it is meant to be a full day of eating, but I got this standing desk. It is the coolest thing in the world. I like to be someone that is on their feet. I like to feel like I'm being mobile and feel active, and it is just the coolest thing ever. It was like $50 from Marketplace. Collected it the other day, and yeah, it's just so good. Can put it down when I want, can put it up. So good. I don't think I'd ever get like a walking pad just because I like walking outside. Like, it's so sad when I just see someone like clogged in, just walking in. Like, bro, get some fresh air. Like, it's great if, you know, you feel like you need to stay indoors. Like maybe you're on meetings all day and you're unable to take those meetings as phone calls and walk and talks like I'm able to. But if you've got the ability, just go outside and walk, bro. Like, touch grass. How good is this? Friend of mine from boxing just texted me saying, hey, you coming tonight? I've made some cookies. Do you want some? So we're going to try out Soap's awesome cookies. And yeah, I'll give you a taste test later. Yo, welcome, man. What's going on? So yeah, what we're gonna do today, dude, is just really understand like where you're at right now and how. So it is about 1 o'clock. We have lunch here. This is a huge bowl, like, kid you not, it is the scale of the bowl. In there we have sweet potato, green beans, rocket, like a mixed kind of salad, like you can buy like a superfood slaw, it's called, from Coles, and then some minced beef. Also going to add salt now, and also some of this Coles special burger sauce. It is the GOAT. As you can see, guys, this is a meal that has carbs, that has protein, that has fat, and that has fiber. And again, that's all I just try to do, to be honest, like craft meals that have those 4 components. And my mic wasn't on, so I'm just gonna turn my mic on. Okay, so as you can see, I don't do the YouTube thing enough. So yeah, so we've crafted a meal that is just balanced across these food groups, but promotes more fiber through the veg, and then protein through, you know, the mince, than it does maybe carbs and fats, basically. So that's all we're trying to do, is have a moderate amount of carbs and fats, and ideally double that portion of protein and fiber per meal. As you can see, like I put on this sauce, and 100 calories a serving. I have no idea if that was a serving or not. It could have been 2, it could have been 3, and I don't really care, because whether it's 100 calories or 200 calories that I put on my lunch, that isn't gonna be the biggest reason as to whether I do or do not stay in shape. It's everything outside of that. It's whether I actually don't put on this, and what that causes me to do is hate this meal because it's boring and bland, and as a result of that, binge eat later tonight. Like that's what's actually gonna get me to consume thousands of calories and put on weight, not, you know, 200 calories worth of sauce. And that is the big problem in the industry right now, is there is so much fear mongering going on about, you know, 50 calories and 100 calories here and there. What you may notice about this meal as well is it's cold. So I moved into this apartment the other day and I have no microwave just yet. I'm going to get one on Thursday, which is tomorrow. I'm gonna go get a microwave. So yeah, I won't have to eat cold food anymore. But yeah, this isn't the most appetizing way of eating, that's for sure. Okay, so you know how I was saying that I don't have a microwave? Look what I just found on the side of the street. How cool. So I did just try this downstairs in like the lobby area, and it works. It actually functions. But how good is Melvin, man? I love it when people just throw stuff out because they don't need it anymore. Look at it. Plays a song for you every time. I'm going to give it a little wipe, but what's that? A 24-hour or 12-hour clock? Let's do 24. 2 minutes flat. Start. And boom. Simple. It works. What is not great is it doesn't have like the plate that's meant to go here. But to be honest, I don't know if it even needs it. Like if I just had a plate that was there, yeah, it would just kind of balance on itself. Yeah, I don't even think that's too much of a problem, to be honest. So yeah, what a win. That is very much some awesome news, and yeah, it's gonna plunk itself right on top of the fridge. Let's see if it fits. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna have to put it up here, actually. Yeah, I'm probably gonna put it here in that case. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a little wipe, a little clean, and then yeah, we got a new microwave. So dinner tonight can be hot. I have eaten cold lunch and dinner now for the last like 4 days. So yeah, how good. Yeah, microwave is definitely meant to be here because there's this like hole here for a lead, which then travels and hits the back there. Alright, let's just... Alright, so it fits nicely, it works, which is good. And then I still have some space actually for some other shit. So let's leave the helmet there, and let's also put the trophy back up there too. Yeah, Sick, cool. Candle and Lego F1 car can stay on the desk. So we just looked it up. That's a $200 microwave that we just got. I knew it was good, bro. $200, which is there for 10 minutes of my time. Like to walk and go grab it. That is why you need to do your steps. That is why you need to do digestion walks, because you get free shit like that. Wow, that's crazy. It's like 2 o'clock. I have a meeting in an hour and I want to do quite like a focused work session. So I know it's not food, but we have a cup of tea here. In terms of water, I have no idea how much water I drink on a daily basis. Probably 2 liters, roughly 3 liters, I'd guess. So yeah, that's kind of an understanding of intake with liquids. My rule of thumb is like, am I feeling dehydrated? Yes, okay, drink water. I have a water bottle with me at all times and I'm always sipping. And the easiest way of telling how hydrated you are or not is just understanding what color you have. Like if it's clear, you're good. Basically, that's like the final boss test. That is the strap that you need to care about. So I'm gonna do some work now. I got these candles from, I don't even know where I got them, bro. It's called a Focus and Clarity candle, and it doesn't actually have the wick in it, so I can't even light it. The wick is like, it's been melted in. It's light as shit. Let me get another candle. Okay, so take 2. This is the other candle I have, which is the nicest smelling candle I've ever had. It is Jo Malone, so a very, very fancy brand. My mum got it for me for Christmas, which was the roguest Christmas present I've ever had, but a lovely Christmas present. Like, I have truly treasured this candle a lot more than I ever would have another candle. So yeah, it's beautiful. We're gonna get an hour of work done now. Candle, cup of tea, and yeah, we're gonna lock in. So let's go. Okay, so I wanted to like showcase this. This is what I was referring to earlier when I said after my therapy appointment, behaviors that I should be doing more of that are more aligned with the person I want to be and less aligned. So like a good example of this is, for example, if I'm like up late, you know, maybe it's like an emotional day, like something stressed me out, I'll kind of curl up into a little ball and I'll like, you know, this was old me, I used to binge eat, but current me still does like kind of binge watches TV episodes and just like isn't productive. Or they'll go the other way and they'll just work like into the early hours of the night. So 2 very like destructive habits, and you want to put those on the behaviors to avoid, because these aren't behaviors that are going to bring me closer to the person that I want to be, basically. But behaviors that I want to do more of is like, right, if it's a case where, you know, it's a Thursday night and I'm completely bored, instead of doing that, how about I ring a friend and I even try to meet them? Like maybe I just meet them for a beer. It doesn't have to be like an alcoholic beer. It can be a non-alcoholic beer. Like, why don't I just do more of that kind of stuff? Because that fills that gap. So that would go in the corner on the left, which is behaviors to do more of. So I'm going to fill this out, and I recommend, again, you guys should too. And, you know, really understand what person you want to become and what person you don't want to become, and just make sure you're staying somewhat accountable to completing those habits. Because, you know, we can all create this list, but another thing is actually following through on this list too. Separately to that, I want to stress like how happy I just feel with my body right now. Like I know I'm very lean, but I know I carry like a lot of like quite a bit of fat as well, right? But I'm just so comfortable being on camera, like without my top on, like, and I've never ever felt like that before, or I have, but like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, I didn't feel like that. Only over the last like 2 years, I've actually felt like that. And I think it's huge. So yeah, hopefully if you're watching this, you will get to a point. I mean, look, subtle plug, if you do want to get to that point, you don't want to count calories, you do want a supportive person in your corner. I'm your guy. I do online coaching. You can hit me up. I have like a intake form in my bio that you can fill out, or you can send me a message directly on Instagram. George.Barnstable is my @. I'm going to stop selfishly plugging myself here. But yeah, if you want to start feeling the way I do, that is the hack. Work with me. Okay, so I am so tired. I didn't sleep very well last night and I'm just exhausted. And that definitely plays into hunger. Like, I'm not overly hungry today at all. Like, I'm eating as I normally would, but that does impact hunger. And what I think would be important to talk about is the role that controllable variables like hunger, like sleep, energy, like stress, all play in your kind of diet, your kind of appetite, and, you know, therefore what you eat on a day-to-day basis. And look, it's about 4 o'clock here. That means I'm gonna head off to boxing in about an hour. And so I'm gonna have a nice little banana just before I get going to boxing. Now, I think, yeah, we got a banana. It's about 4 o'clock, and I think I want to talk about just awareness. So today, for example, right, I'm going to boxing, and like I said, I've got those cookies that like a friend has brought and they've made, and I'm gonna have one as a result, right? And you know, I could have gone in the fridge and just had some yogurt or like had something, but instead I chose a banana because that's a high fiber option. It's also a great option when it comes to micronutrients, and maybe yogurt isn't going to promote that same response. So what I'm just trying to say here is, like, again, it's all awareness and it's just simple choices. So just trying to make the best choices you can possible. And hey, if you know you're going out for a few beers with the boys or you're going to a restaurant, like, try to make sure the rest of the day is pretty solid so that you can enjoy that food, not feeling too guilty whilst eating it. So yeah, to summarize, 4 o'clock today, I've had breakfast, I've had lunch, and I've had 2 bananas, and I've had a coffee for to start the day. That is consistently what I'll eat, and then I'll have dinner, and then sometimes I'll have a snack in the evening if I really feel like I want one. So yeah, roughly 3 meals, 2 to 3 snacks every single day. Also, when it comes to bananas, what is so nice on bananas is honey. And if you guys aren't doing this, it is the nicest thing in the world. So just put a bit of honey on your banana, just like so. It's just the best, man. It, like, particularly if you are like low energy, honey is just so good at giving you that like zap you need. But separated to that, like, it's just sweet and it kind of fulfills that craving, but it is quite sickly. So I kind of do it a few times, then I get a bit sick of honey and then put it away. So, but again, what's awesome is, like, I can eat like this and I don't need to worry. I don't need to worry about how many calories are in that honey, like to the exact gram, like, because I just know that, hey, I'm eating right over the course of the day and that will take care of me. Like, why do I need to track all the numbers? And also, I am the data. My physique is the data. Like, if I start to notice that, hey, I'm putting on a lot of weight, okay, I just adjust my portions accordingly. And this was a journey for me. Like, it wasn't something that I learned like overnight. It was definitely something that came over time. But again, that is, you know, what I do now. It's how I help people. So if you'd like to learn, sorry, I feel like I'm just selfishly plugging my business all the time, but it's brilliant. We change people's lives. So hey, why would I not? Alrighty, that is us done with sparring. I did the double today with boxing. So I had skills and drills, which is like a technique focused class. And then I also did sparring. So yeah, beating each other up pretty much. As you can tell, I got beaten up quite a bit. And yeah, I've got a bit of a mark, which is never ideal because it just looks like I've been jumped by someone in the street. So the time right now, coming up to 8 o'clock, so 20 to 8. I usually don't have dinner this late, but of course we had boxing from 5:30 till 7:30. And yeah, I'm gonna first have a shower, then get some food in me. Again, I usually have dinner around like 6 p.m, sometimes 7 p.m. if I've got calls before, but yeah, never usually this late. So yeah, we got a big feed coming, and as you can see, guys, like, yes, I know I don't track my calories, but I also do a lot, like, and I think that gives me that flexibility. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people kind of don't realize, is that you can't just like eat however you want to an extent and, you know, just not move. I think successful weight loss is done correctly when you do both. You have a bit more awareness of what you're putting in your body, and you also make sure you're moving quite a lot. And I'm someone that pretty much consistently every day exercises, except Sundays. And that exercise could range from a gym session to a boxing session to a run. So, you know, it's not like I'm someone that doesn't move my body a lot. And I think that's something that I need to stress here is, like, yes, I don't count my calories and I don't track, but I also do a lot of movement. And no, that doesn't mean that you have to exercise as much as me. I have some clients that go to the gym literally 3 times a week, sometimes 1 or 2, and they still lose weight. So yes, we can do it both ways, but for optimal fat loss, where you feel the cognitive benefits of exercise and the physical benefits of exercise, we obviously want to do it at the same time. And it's only going to broaden that energy deficit that I was talking about to make fat loss even quicker. So, you know how I was saying, like, you know, you've got calories in, calories out. If we make those equations as far, you know, attached as possible, the rate of weight loss is going to be a lot quicker. Anyway, I'll stop yapping. I'm going to go shower, have some food, and I'll show you what I'm making. Alrighty, we have got steak and potatoes on the menu for today, which is very, very exciting, very filling, and I'm very happy to be having this as a post-workout meal. Just look at the volume though, man. Like potatoes, crazy amount in here, a steak and a half, and then some broccoli and asparagus, and then some like coleslaw and rocket, which I had earlier. So what I'm going to do is, using my new microwave, heat up the potatoes, and then everything else I think I'll just have cold, to be honest, which is going to be a bit shit, but that's how it's going to work. I've got some butter, which we can use for potatoes, and yes, if you're wondering, this is a towel dressing gown. So let me explain. It feels like a towel, but it's a dressing gown, and it's meant to be post shower because it kind of like, you know when you put on like a dressing gown and you know you're not fully dry just yet, and it has that like sticky feeling? This is the opposite. It kind of works to soak up. Yeah, you're still meant to dry off. You shouldn't like get out of the shower and put this on straight away. I have done that and it wasn't too pleasant. But yeah, this is a homey, is what it's called. Hommey. I'm a big fan. I got it for Christmas. It's nice. Okay, so maybe, and just maybe, the reason why this microwave was on the side of the road is because it doesn't work. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but it doesn't work. Like, I've had it cooking now for like 3 minutes on these potatoes, and they're just as cold, which is really shit, I can't lie. Like, dude, if it doesn't work, don't throw it out. And if it doesn't work and you're gonna throw it out, like at least like put a note on it or something to save someone like me. Here I am complaining about getting free shit. It doesn't work, it's giving me that false hope, and it's a bit shit. They're still stone cold. So the microwave's buggered. We got cold potatoes for dinner. I've had these for like 3 nights in a row, so I don't mind. So let's make the meal. Let's just sit down and eat it. This is what we are playing with. All right. So potatoes. I've already told you all this. Steak, potatoes, veggies, pretty much. Carbs from the potatoes, fiber from the veg. Steak has the fat and the protein, and we've got a balanced meal here. I am so annoyed about this microwave. I cannot just get that out of my head. So annoying. But can't lie, it would be better if these were hot, but what can you do? So yeah, I think, guys, that is how I want to end this. If I continue allowing myself to film, I will just film. I'm such a yapper. Yapper. So let's end this now. It's 8 p.m. I have, eaten 3 meals today, 2 snacks. Also had that cookies, so technically 3 snacks. Realistically, I probably won't eat anything tonight. I may have a cup of tea. I will have a cup of tea, and I may have like a banana if I'm working late and I'm hungry. Reality is I'm gonna get an early night, and I am gonna be stuffed after this meal. Like, look how much food is here, guys. It's hectic. So yeah, I'm gonna end this now. If you liked this, drop a like, drop a comment to say you liked it, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.